Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
This is Frank and Donna down in Katy, Texas, as you all know. And today we have a very special guest with us. Miss Lorre Hayden Reason from North Carolina has graced us with her presence. And I sent out a text. I know a lot of you people, I've been telling you she's going to come on here. I know a lot of you are watching, excited to hear her testimony about what the patches has done. So I'm going to shut up, and Miss Lori, would you mind sharing with us your story?
I will be happy to share. It's been an absolutely remarkable journey with these incredible patches, and I am really grateful to God for bringing this up to me after I prayed and asked God to show something, bring something to me that would be the answer to my prayers, and He did. And so I'm just thrilled to share. I have been patching for about 17 months. And when I was introduced to this, I was coming off just an intense time of chronic symptoms and difficulties and trying to recover and trying. I had tried a lot of other things. I had been diagnosed with a difficult thing that takes people sometimes years and decades to recover from. And I'm not giving any medical advice. I'm not a doctor and I'm not a medical person, and I'm not going to give you medical advice or make any claims that anything heals anything. But what I want to say is that these patches do just an incredible job of helping the body regenerate itself on a cellular level. And that's what I have personally experienced. And so when I was introduced to this technology, I did some research, I asked a lot of good questions, and I figured out this is amazing. It uses the energy and the frequency of the body that God created us as energetic people. And so the earth has magnetism in it, it has frequency, our bodies have frequency. And so I that really resonated with me because I do a lot of grounding outside and wear my bare feet on the ground. And I know that that helps, reset our health. And so I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And it's wearable. So I don't know, I've got one on my back. So I'm going to show it to you. So this is you can see this. Let's see. I put it on my. Yeah, there you go, in front of my face. So this is what it
Yeah.
looks like. So it's just a patch, and it has natural products in it, proprietary. It has it's patented, so there's nothing else like this in the world, which is pretty incredible. That we can we can purchase a patch and wear it for 30 days every single day for 12 hours and experience the incredible regeneration in our body. And so I got on board. And then when I first started, I thought, someone told me, because you've had some chronic issues, Lori, why don't we start first by calming down your nervous system? And I'm like, ooh, that sounds like a good plan because I wasn't sure if I could do all these patches, intense patching for 12 hours a day right out of the gate. And so I just started slowly, actually 10 minutes a day, worked up to an hour, and I'm a very determined person. I am determined if I believe in something and I feel like God has led me on a path, I am determined to do my best for it to have, optimal work in my body. And I've been through a lot of this over the past 8 years, so I knew, that I was going to give it my all. So got the patches. I actually wore three different patches once I worked myself up. The first patch I used, and I did it for 12 hours. The first patch was, you want me to call names of patches? So how do you want me to do
Sure,
that?
that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
People want to know.
Yeah. So the first patch I started with because I was super sensitive. I was coming from years of chronic issues, super sensitive. I started with 10 minutes a day with Aeon, or some people call it Eon, but it's
Hmm.
actually calming the inflammation, calming the nervous system. And I wore it on the back of my neck for 10 minutes a day. And then I'd wear it 10 minutes the next day and work myself up until I was wearing it 12 hours. And then I incorporated two other patches that help calm the nervous system. One is SP6, which is the left side of the body, and it goes kind of right behind your ear on your neck. And one was Silent Night on the right side behind my ear on my neck. And I wore all three of those for 12 hours a day for about 2.5 months. And I thought, I'm just going to stick with this routine for a little while and see what happens. The first shift, actually, one of my family members noticed a shift in me first. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that often happens, right? We notice something different about the person before they notice it themselves. And
Absolutely.
so anyway, she said to me, "You seem more, you seem more, like yourself now. You seem more creative and more. Something's different about you." And I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." Um, and then I started noticing I love to do interior design. I have been a commercial interior designer. I've been an artist and all these things. So I love to be. I'm very creative. God made me that way. And so all of a sudden, I just wanted to like decorate and do all this fun things. And I'm like, wow, it's been a while since I felt those really creative juices flowing. And I thought, this is impacting my brain, right? My brain
Mm-hmm.
function. So that was pretty exciting. And then I went about maybe less than 2 more months, at about 2.5 months, I take medication for my thyroid. And I noticed based on my symptoms that I thought my medicine was too high, like I was taking too high a dose. And so I work with a functional practitioner. So I went and had labs done, and I was right. I was right. It was just so amazing. That was the first major shift I felt in my on my wellness journey with patching. That wow, this is starting to work in a really exciting, positive way. And so I was
Mm-hmm.
able, for the past year and a half, I've been able to lower my medication for my thyroid every single month. And I'm like, that
Wow.
Wow.
that is absolutely remarkable. And so I'm like, well, this is definitely worth continuing, right? And so we
Yeah.
love to tell people that it requires patience. Some people have an instantaneous response to patches,
Mm-hmm.
especially people with pain. Sometimes they have an instant response, right? But often it just takes time for the regeneration to work in the body. And
Right.
we are increasing a peptide in our body that is scientifically proven to grow new stem cells and to increase collagen, which is the protein connective tissues of our whole body, and to reset genes. I mean, that is scientifically proven with these patches. So when I heard
Mhm.
that, I'm like, the only thing that you can do to build new stem cells, I mean, you can boost stem cells, you can make the climate favorable for them, but there's nothing else but the patches that can actually build new stem cells other than injections, right? And they're horribly
Yeah.
expensive, 10, 20,000 and more. So, and sometimes they don't work. And so I'm like, wow.
Right.
So here I am. I don't need to worry about it, what diagnosis I have. I don't need to worry about, oh, I have this specific problem and which patch will help with that. It's like this helps with everything. So
Mm-hmm.
my journey has just showed that in such an amazing way. And so I'm just starting to realize this is incredible. And so I get to the springtime of a year ago, and I love to walk in my neighborhood. And I usually walk at least twice a day, in the morning. And even when it's really hot in North Carolina now, as it probably is in Texas, I'm like, 6
Right.
o'clock, I'm out. I can't stand to not walk. So I'm walking, and normally in the spring, I'm like getting headaches, pressure in my head, miserable from all the allergies. And everything was in bloom in North Carolina in early March last year. I mean, everything. We had so many trees and flowers, and everything was blooming. I'm like, uh-oh, any minute now, I'm going to be really miserable. And I thought, I just kept walking, and I walked the next day, and I'm like, nothing's happening. I'm like, oh my goodness. And so I got through the whole 2 or 3 weeks of when the pollen is just everywhere, and
Wow.
I had zero allergies. They were
Wow.
completely resolved. So
Amazing.
that was that was incredible. Because I had a mold impact about 8 to 10 years ago that nearly took my life. And as a result of that, I became hypersensitive, overreactionary to everything, and ended up with significant sensitivities to so many things. So to not
Hmm.
have spring allergies, pretty
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just was wonderful. It was like so freeing to be outside and not have to worry about being miserable as so many people are. So I continued on, continued on with patching, just feeling more energy. I just started feeling like it'd been a long time since I felt really energized. I'm an entrepreneur and I run several businesses. And so I'm 64 years old. And so one of the things I also started noticing was, oh my goodness, people were saying, Lori, you're just glowing. Look at your skin. You have so much energy. And I'm like, yeah, wow, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So I have people all the time on social media commenting, oh, look at your skin looks amazing. And I think, I'll take that at 64, right?
Exactly.
Like, where are your wrinkles, Lori? And where's your, I don't
Mm-hmm.
color my hair. This is my natural color, and I have a tiny bit of gray. And I'm like, I'm loving that I am actually reversing my biological age. And my
Mm-hmm.
skin and my hair and my energy is just reflecting what's happening inside my body.
It's live. Yes.
Right.
And so I know you all have experienced the same thing. And so to be able to not have to worry about aging poorly or being stuck on the hamster wheel, that you might have to have, I want to be careful about what I say here, but you're not stuck under someone else's restrictions. You don't have to go to appointment after appointment
Mm-hmm.
and be handed solutions that don't work, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Right.
so I'm like, we don't have to worry about that. We can just
Right.
enjoy this stage of our life and help other people and just enjoy this incredible benefit
Amen.
of the patches and give God all the glory for this. And I just love telling people about what's happening with me. So anyway, we
Amen.
get past that, and I'm starting to watch my skin, my energy change, and we go into the next year. And I was taking care of my mom. I was a caregiver, working two businesses, and I'm like, wow, that's just incredible to me. That I had energy and the brain function because mold impacts
Mm-hmm.
the brain function and a lot of the systemic things that happen because of that. So I'm like, to have multitasking ability and running businesses and caretaking and all that with energy is pretty remarkable. My sleep
Praise the Lord.
solved. So take care of my mom. She passed away last June, and
Mm-hmm.
she was so excited to go to heaven to be with the Lord. So it was just a beautiful gift to she and to me, and my dad's already there. So it was, it's always hard to lose your
Mhm.
parent, but it
Right.
was it was a beautiful opportunity to care for her and to
Yes.
know that she's in heaven forever with the Lord. So I'm grateful for that. But anyway, so I
Amen.
get to
Amen.
the end of her life and I'm taking care of her at home because that's what we chose. And I thought, oh my goodness, it was a very stressful, right? Very intensely stressful at the end of someone's life, caretaking. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to put my three patches, my Aeon, SP6, and Silent Night back on, and to help me go through this really stressful season with my mom. And it only lasted a week, thankfully, but I wore that, and it was still stressful. But I get past my mom's passing, and my nervous system and my body reset very quickly. And I thought that is the amazing power of these patches. That it actually
Amen.
was keeping my nervous system much more calm than it would have been. So
Mm-hmm.
to after when it took a little while, I'm like, I need a little space to kind of rest and recover. And I was going to plan my whole mom's service and decorate and do all this creative stuff that I wanted to do. So I got to where I wasn't sleeping well because it had been so stressful. And I'm like, okay, I know what I can do. I can wear aloe vera right here in the center of my forehead. But so anyway, I did that for about 6 weeks. I went outside first thing every single morning and sat in a chair on my patio and got first morning sunlight. So
Mm-hmm.
the sun in our eyes is what helps reset our hormones and it helps reset our circadian rhythm, which is our wake sleep rhythm. So when we get first light in our eyes, we are messaging our body that's going to go to sleep in the evening. When we have unbalanced cortisol from stress, that causes us to not be tired at night and to be really exhausted in the morning. So I already
Mhm.
knew all that, and I already knew, thank the Lord there was ways to resolve this. So aloe vera is really good for resetting cortisol. So I wore it
Mhm.
every day for 12 hours. I wore it during the day because I personally don't do super well with wearing patches at night. Some people do great with that, but it just doesn't work well for my body. And so I wore it every day for 6 weeks, and I started sleeping 8 hours a night, never waking up. Like absolutely.
Mm.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, what a gift. What an incredible gift. So that was a blessing to me. And sometimes the people that I'm helping with patches, sometimes people really struggle with sleep. And
Mhm.
Right.
it seems like sleep and pain are two of the things that have a lot of nuances with them and a lot of undercurrent, underneath things that have to be addressed. But patching definitely brings us up to the place where we can sleep so much more optimally. And when we're getting poor sleep, we're not detoxing during the night. We're just struggling, right, in so many ways. So grateful to be able, that was last fall, over a year ago, being able to start sleeping really incredibly well. And the stress of caretaking was coming down, and I was, able to go back and, enjoy some of the parts of my life that I hadn't been able to for 3 years. So I'm continuing patching, and my priorities with patching was after the first 2.5 to 3 months, I started wearing X39 every single day.
Mhm.
So that was a priority to me because that is the one that was developed after 10 years of researching stem cells. So
Right.
I knew that I wanted that on board every single day for the rest of my life. Um,
Amen.
so that's my priority. And then throughout the year and a half that I've been patching, I've worn every single patch. I mean, I rotate them, um, depending on, if you have a sudden, you know, situation that comes up, you wake up in the morning and you don't feel very good, and you just know that you can put a lot of different patches on. Carnosine is super good for blood flow and heart health. And so glutathione is excellent because it increases the glutathione in our body by 300%. So
Hmm.
I always hated and was scared of doing anything with glutathione externally. Like I didn't react well to it. Supplements,
Hmm.
creams, like, ugh. People wanted to give injections. I'm like, no, 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 I'm not for me. I was a little, right? And so I'm a little nervous about this patch, glutathione patch. And then I thought, it's not doing anything to me. It's just messaging my body to increase its own glutathione, right? By 300%, which means it's just saying to the body, okay, you do the work to detoxify. So
Mhm.
probably 2 or 3 times a week, I would wear it over my liver. If I had got up in the morning, I'm like, I don't feel good, something's going on, I would patch it just somewhere on the body, on the liver, below the belly button. If I've ever had a stomach issue, occasionally we get those where just something doesn't feel right or you're just not feeling good. I will put that below my belly button. And I've also learned this incredible hack lately that I love and I'm sharing with everybody. Put a glutathione anywhere in the body you have pain or discomfort. Put a glutathione and bracket it on either side with ice waves. So
Hmm.
tan ice wave on the left, white on the right, glutathione in the middle. I've had people do it on their shoulder, their back, their neck. Their If you're having any kind of stomach issue, it really works well to start resolving that. And I heard a interview with David Schmidt recently where he said that is what they're using. That is what is being recommended if you want to rebuild cartilage in your body.
Mm.
I'm like, what?
Really?
Yeah. And so I'm like, we're doing that with a lady, putting that on her shoulder. She has resolved her shoulder issue with just that protocol. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that is incredible. And so I'm thrilled when I get to watch other people just blossom, right, with optimal health, wellness. And so anyway, I'm skipping around a little bit because things are coming to my mind. So
Right.
you have any questions for me at this point before I go on?
On the thyroid, that was what kind of condition was that? Just a hyperthyroid thing, or
Yes, I have hyperthyroid, and I didn't patch in any specific place for that. It was just using the SP6, I believe, and eventually the X39. So I was
Mhm.
calming inflammation, right,
Right.
with the Aeon, and I was Silent Night is great for building melatonin, which helps with so many functions of the body, the brain, and the SP6 is really helps balance hormones. So, and one thing I think we have to remember is that the patches kind of the body gets to choose what it addresses first,
Mhm.
second, third.
Yes.
So we don't always know what's going to start resolving on and at what pace or at what stage. So I think in that we have to have a little bit of patience and just kind of have the hopeful expectation that we're going to be excited about all the things that as we
Right.
goes on. Like I didn't come in with any preset. I have to resolve this now. I have to resolve this now. It was like just really trusting the Lord that this was incredible
Amen.
technology. I trusted the technology. I trusted the science and the global social proof. I mean, I trusted that this was going to do what it says it's going to do. It's patented. It has to, right? Um,
Right.
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 so I get to early this year, and I had great fatigue, joint pain, brain fog from a situation that most people really severely struggle with, and it takes sometimes decades, even they never recover over their lifetime. So I had this, and I was on a medication to help with that. And I was told that I had this about 2 years ago. And so this is what started me praying for a solution, right? That there's got to be something else to do. So last fall I started titrating my meds down just to see if what had happened. It had been a year I guess since I've been patching. I'm like, I just want to see if these symptoms are starting to resolve. So I titrated down, and I got down to a really tiny dose, and I could tell I still needed a little bit, but that was super exciting because I
Mhm.
knew other people had resolved this, and I was really hopeful and expecting that I would be able to also. And so if you want to know more about what I'm talking about, you can message Frank or you can message me, and I can tell you more
Mhm.
privately about it. But
Right.
anyway, I got to wintertime this year, and I'm celebrating my 64th birthday with like lots of friends at another friend's house, and we're talking about how much more energy I have, even a year later. Um, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to just get off that medicine. Like I was running out, and I thought, I'm just going to get off and see what happens. So there again, it's just my determination to just like we're gonna push through this. We're gonna see if this works. No more symptoms. My fatigue gone.
Wow.
My joint pain gone. My brain fog gone for the most part. There's a little bit I struggle with, but I'm like, oh my word, all those symptoms that were tied to this really difficult thing are gone. And so I was super, super excited about that. I also got labs done back in February of this year,
Mhm.
and I have no more antibodies in my system for Hashimoto's. It's just completely my thyroid
Praise the Lord.
completely resolved. Um, and I'm like, this is incredible. This is incredible
Mhm.
that I could be at this age, and my blood pressure resolved. So I went to my doctor for a physical, and she said, Lori, I don't even recognize you. And I'm like, well, I got
Mhm.
a haircut. So I didn't, usually doctors don't comment on your haircut, right? And
Right.
she's like, no, your blood pressure. She's like, it's incredible. And so I've even had to go recently to her just for one little quick thing. And my blood pressure was like, I've never had blood pressure that good. And I'm like, she was going to put me on medicine a year ago. I'm like, no, no thanks, no thanks. So I don't know. I just, Frank and Donna, this has been such a blessing to have
Amen.
this journey that God answered my prayers in such a
Amen.
magnificent way. In ways he says he does great and mighty things that we know not, and that's exactly
Amen.
what happened with me. I do eat super healthy. I drink really pure water. I exercise. I'm careful about my health because I think that only optimizes the way patches work in our body. We
Mhm.
can't put junk in and expect to, a patch is going to fix.
Exactly.
If our bodies
Exactly.
are super toxic when we start patching, what I've learned is people have to start more slowly, and we have to make sure that they're supporting their minerals, right? And
Mhm.
they're getting good minerals in their body. And I have been learning a lot about Celergize lately, which is
Hmm.
so I've been learning how if you can take this morning powder that's been developed to work with the patches, it is helping to give more energy and boost the power of the patches. So I
Great.
just am grateful. I'm grateful for this opportunity, and I'm really thankful that to be able to share it with people, to be an encouragement. So, like I said, I didn't use. I did use some combinations of things, like if I wasn't feeling well or I really wanted to boost, a detoxification process. I've used energy enhancers. They're amazing on the kidneys
Hmm.
to really boost adrenal health because kidneys and adrenals are tied so closely together.
Hmm.
Um, so I would recommend, this is what was recommended to me, and I love this, and it was good advice, is to build like a patch toolkit and
Mhm.
start small,
Right.
start simple, right? For me, I would have started on X39 if I hadn't been so sensitive, right? Just would have started with that. Just see what happens in your body. Just start slowly. Don't overcomplicate things. But I love just incorporating the different patches based on what my needs were, what my
Hmm.
wellness goals were. Um,
Right.
and so I think using a variety of them helped me resolve some things that were more difficult. And I moved
Mhm.
for SP6 with my thyroid. I did once a week, once a day with SP6. And I wore it on the inside of my left ankle.
Hmm.
You go 2 fingers up from that inner left bone. I'm kind of feeling feeling myself.
Mhm.
Where go 2 finger widths up from that your ankle bone, the inside of your leg, and wear your SP6. And I did it for probably 5 months daily. And then I transitioned to 3 times a week, and I still got the same results. So,
Mhm.
uh,
Great.
yeah. And so, actually, the liver plays a big part in our
Hmm.
thyroid hormones, and so does our brain. So,
Right.
when we use the patches, it's going to increase our brain function. And when we are getting toxins out of our body with glutathione and X39 supporting that cellular regeneration, we are actually boosting our hormone health. So, anyway, I think that's kind of my story, and I will
That's
never
great.
ever stop patching in my entire life. I'll never, I will never stop because it's just an incredible
Amen.
gift.
Well, we certainly appreciate you taking the time and honoring us with your presence and your story because we know it's going to help so many people. And for anyone out there watching, if you're friends with Lori and you want to know more about uh, the patches or and best price to get them, contact Lori. Or if you're friends of ours, contact us. Or if someone just shared this video with you, get back with whoever shared it with you. And they can help you get the best price and walk you through the process. thank everyone for listening. Miss Lorre, thank you
Thank
very,
you.
very much.
It
It's
was a
been an
great
honor and a
privilege.
blessing.
A great
Thank
privilege.
you, man.
Thank you.
You
So blessed.
you have a great day. Bye bye.